Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm here with the CEO of GE Healthcare, Peter Arduini. Peter, great to see you in person.
Katie, thank you for having me on.
Let's start with the news of this morning, and that is that GE Healthcare has signed a 7-year partnership with Sutter Health to provide AI-powered medical technology and software upgrades to the California nonprofit health system, expected to generate $1 billion in revenue over the life of this partnership. Talk to us a little bit more about this particular tie-up and whether we should expect to see more from you guys.
Yeah, no, well, thank you very much. You know, we're super excited to work with many of our customers and partners, but in this case with Sutter Health, as you may know, one of the really largest systems in Northern California, but one of the top 10 in this country. And it's been a big focus of ours where we make lots of critical equipment that's used for diagnosis, services, training, and what we've been pivoting on is how do you integrate all of those to do what we call deliver precision care. And so just at this conference, you hear about all these new devices and drugs, many of the things that enable those we make. And so this relationship will really refresh all of their system. I think over 300 locales. They're opening outpatient centers all over. And the exciting part is for the 3.5–4 million patients that they take care of, they're going to have state-of-the-art equipment.
Let's talk a little bit more about the AI-powered piece, because we talk about AI from all angles, and the question we always ask is, what is the application? But you think about medical technology, it seems like that would be a bit of a natural fit.
Yeah, our industry is one of the industries I think that's really grasping it in all aspects of it. But from a GE Healthcare standpoint, we kind of think about it in 3 areas. The first part is kind of AI inside. So if you look at all of our products at this point coming out, there's some embedded AI in it, and that either means better productivity, you can get more scans or studies done, or it actually helps pinpoint or actually help a physician with a diagnosis. Those are the first two. The second area is in like a departmental. Do you think about labor and delivery department or radiology? How do you run it more effectively? In that case, it's about moving data for the right decisions. And then enterprise. We actually have a product called Command Center, which actually helps an institution manage the flow of patients. And I think this is, again, just the beginning of where this is happening. And this will be part of our relationship with Sutter as well.
I'm curious about the impact you see on the workforce. You know, as you know very well, there's a clinician shortage of sorts. How do you see these AI tools possibly changing the workforce when it comes to the health system?
Yeah, I think it's a couple. It's a great question. I think the first part is the more you can make these products automate many tasks that really are not value added, that's a first step. And, you know, we're doing that. Other companies are doing that. That says the precious time of the technologist or the nurse or the caregiver can be on those critical things that only a human really can make the difference on. I think those are the first steps. Broadly, though, these technologies are going to open it up to other users that typically haven't used the device because there's been too much expertise to enable them to actually use it. And so I think this labor shortage that we're feeling, and we play a part of helping training and development, but the tools themselves are going to actually make things more accessible to more users.
And I'm curious, I mean, do you think that you think about all the different areas that you touch, of course, at GE Healthcare, from ultrasounds to imaging, ventilators, diagnostics. Do you think that AI will ultimately touch all of those areas, infiltrate all of those areas, or are there any certain sectors or parts of your business that you think will always be human?
Well, I think the beautiful thing about AI relative to this combo, I think, is this combination of the human touch factor of care, right? It is one-to-one patient-clinician relationship. I think AI is going to ultimately help free up more time to do that. And so when we think about, there's clearly in our portfolio modalities, as we call them, that will first be more effective because of the nature of it, but it'll evolve. So, I mean, a specific example, like I mentioned, is in MRI, the ability to actually change how the product makes an image. First time in 30, 40 years, which actually makes it go significantly faster. On the other side, all the patient monitoring in a hospital, all of that data today really isn't used. If you can actually predict, if you're actually in a hospital ward, you may need a nurse and actually call them before you actually have an issue. That's a significant improvement for that clinician taking care of you, and it frees up capacity. All those are different variations of how we think AI is going to help change care delivery for the better.
So this is a partnership that you signed with Sutter Health. How are you balancing partnerships versus potential M&A? Because there is a lot of optimism when it comes to merger activity.
Yeah, look, and we just had our investor day, Katie, a few months back, and we talked about M&A is going to be a very important part. We're excited about 2025 and beyond and the environment that we're seeing around the world. So tuck-in M&A for us makes a lot of sense. The breadth of the company we have lots of opportunities to, I'd say, fill out the solution for customers so that there's a better end-to-end capability. And then on the customer side, these type of relationships, we see more and more customers wanting to have not a relationship of a transactive one, but a real partnership where we're actually getting our hands dirty to help solve some of their challenges. And we've done over 120 of these. It's been about $5 billion since we've spun out. But obviously this as $1 billion by itself represents, one of the largest that we've ever done.
Yeah, absolutely. Since spin-off, this partnership quite large. Let's talk a little bit more about your investor day. It was interesting. You take a look at the details. It seems like there was a lot of focus, of course, on the pharmaceutical diagnostics segment. I know that's your fastest growing segment, and a lot of focus on imaging agents, for example. How do you expect that market will change over the next 5 years or so?
Yeah, so one of the exciting things, and it's being discussed by a lot of pharmaceutical companies here at the conference, is this evolution of radiopharmaceuticals used in therapy. So we are a diagnostic company, not a therapy company, but these drugs that are arising, and they basically are a radioactive tracer that goes to a cancer cell, actually helps eliminate the cancer and doesn't hurt the good cells around it. We have the equipment that actually helps, what clinicians would say, see what you treat and treat what you see. And also a host of the diagnostic agents. One that we spoke at Investor Day is actually on the cardiology side called Flyrcado. And what it's used for is in a PET scanner to do cardiac perfusion. And it will replace products that have been used in older systems with higher specificity and sensitivity, which ultimately means a better diagnosis. And that's actually launching this March, April. So we're super excited about Flyrcado in this PET cardiology market area.
And Peter, I only have time for one more question, and I want to go to China, of course. You acknowledge that there's been weakness in China on your third quarter earnings call, and that's one of the lingering questions, I would say, over your stock, that China recovery. What is your viewpoint right now?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd say overall, we're optimistic about 25 for the whole globe, I think. U.S., EU, a lot of things. China, I think my views haven't changed from what I've said at Investor Day, which is we're bullish on the future of China. It will be one of the largest, if not the largest, healthcare market in the world at some point down the road. We believe the first half is going to be a little bit more subdued as stimulus and some of the other programs they have get worked through, but we're optimistic that the second half of 2025, we start to see the recovery, and then 26, 27 beyond that, it gets back to a more normative rate of growth.
All right, Peter, that's a good place to leave it. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
That is Peter Arduini. He is the CEO of GE Healthcare.